Today we're going to be doing some really cute, fun marshmallows. We're going to be using some of the larger marshmallows. We may even do some larger than this, but with these, we're going to make them, we're going to decorate them and make them super cute. So the first thing we're going to do is just open these up. Now these are 2-inch. I already have one cut in half, but we're going to do one together. So all I do is find about the center. So these are, I think, 6 inches long. So I'll go to about 3, just mark it there. And I'm just going to use a bread knife. I like to use the bread knife. It works super well. It cuts really well. A lot less mess than some of the other things that I've tried in the past. Okay, and then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to sand it. So just a low-grade sandpaper. And I just want to get it smooth. Do it over a trash can. And you want to round the edges. So make sure you're rounding your edges. You're going to round the top and the bottom. Okay. Marshmallows don't really have an edge. So you want them to have kind of that round shape. So it'll look a little bit more like a marshmallow. Okay. And with this polystyrene foam, it's really easy to sand. When you're sanding these, make sure you're using a sandpaper that is going to leave a smooth surface. So remember, the higher the grit of the sandpaper, the smoother it's going to make it. Even though it's white, it looks a lot better if it's painted. It just looks a lot more realistic. And I just took some white paint, just a little white acrylic paint and some Mod Podge, mixed them together. I'm going to take a couple of the little skewer sticks. You can get these at Dollar Tree, Walmart, grocery stores. And I'm going to paint this on. So it's an equal part Mod Podge and paint. And this is a very important step because this is going to make your marshmallow even smoother, and it's going to cover at least some of the fact that it is styrofoam. And the great thing is that it's a lot cheaper than clay and it dries a whole lot faster. All right. So we're going to make sure I got it really well. Okay, and then we're just going to pop it on some styrofoam to dry. So I always keep some styrofoam from when I get packages because I will use it. Okay. I love using the sticks. It helps them dry faster. It makes it easier to paint. So even if you're not going to put this in a wreath or a garland, centerpiece, or something like that, just having this in there while it dries makes a big difference. Okay, so just paint it on. Get the bottom as well. I always like to have finished products, so I make sure I get all of the sides. Then I'll just smooth out the top. Okay, so I'm going to let these dry. Okay, so the marshmallows have dried. So we're going to do the next step in getting these ready. So I want to do these, just decorate them super cute. You, of course, could leave them plain, but I really want to have a cute decorated look. So let's get started on that. So one thing I love is s'mores. I know I'm not the only one. I am going to kind of make these look a bit like s'mores. Okay. So I just take the sticks out. And I'm going to use some brown puffy paint because this is going to look like chocolate. So what I want to do is start in the middle and just kind of go in a circle like this. I like to make sure there's going to be enough in the center to spread out. Whoops. Okay, and what you're going to do is you're just going to tap it like this, and this is going to help. So you're just going to tap it, and that's going to help spread it out. And I do want it to do some drips, so that's good. The closer you get to the edge, the more likely it is to drip. And the more you put on the edge, the more drip there will be. Okay, so when you tap it, you see how the drips are starting to come down? Okay. So in the front, I just want a little bit, not a lot. So I'll kind of rim that edge right there. Okay. You can also kind of just tap it with your hand. So if I don't want a whole bunch of drips, I can tap it with my hand like this and just get it to drip just a little bit, because I don't want there to be too much in the front because I have plans for the front. Now in the back, I'm good with dripping as much as it wants. All right. So the next thing I'm going to do is put some sprinkles on it. I'm just going to use these little pastel sprinkles. I'm just going to tap some on there. So this marshmallow just has some really yummy stuff on it. Put some on the side. Okay. There we go. In areas where I want them to be. All right, so that's the way I want it to look. Now I'm going to put it back on the stick and I'm going to let it dry. So these can take up to 24 hours to dry when you are using the puffy paint. It's really going to depend on how much puffy paint you put on it and things like that. So when I get ready to do one of these, I'm going to look and see which side I think looks the best. And then the best side is going to be the bottom. And the worst side is going to be the top. I think we'll do this side. So I want to make sure I get enough to cover the top. So this is self-leveling, okay, which just means that it's not going to have, it's going to look smooth. It's going to level out and it's going to look smooth. So, load a little bit more on there. Okay. Oh, that's cute. So this will be the front. Alright, and this is going to be the back. I want to put just a tiny bit more right here. So I don't want to have a little weird white spot. Okay. Oh, I love that. And I like how there's just a tiny little bit right up here. Just going to put a little dab right there and a little dab right there. And then I'm just going to tap it with my hand, because I don't want it to start going crazy. Okay, now we'll do our little sprinkles. If you find that you're getting too much out, you can do them by hand. You can also kind of sprinkle them on by hand. Okay, and sometimes I'll put just a couple in the front, just to have that little look. There we go. I might want just a couple more on the top. There we go. Alright, so then this one's going to dry. A little sticky on. Okay, so we're going to wait until it dries. I'm going to come back and we're going to take the next step in making these into something cute to put on our tree. You could also set them around or put them on a wreath. Okay, so the ones that we did are dry. We're going to decorate these. And we're going to, on these, what I want to do is create a little face on it. So I did one. I haven't completed it yet, but just kind of give you an idea of what it's going to look like. Okay. So all I've done so far on this one is just a little bit of eyes and a nose. I still need to do a little mouth and the cheeks. So there's a ton of different ways you can do these. This one I just drew on with a paint pen. But I want to do some cheeks with a pink. And I'm going to use, let's see, I'm going to use some little sponge circles. I think this is a good size. So what I want to do is get the paint on it, and then I want to offload it, a lot of it, because I just want a little. Okay, I'm just going to kind of circle it like that. Well, a little bit more than that, maybe. There, that's cute. Might be a little hard to see, but I just wanted, and I don't want a perfect circle, I just want a little on there, like that. There we go. Okay. Now I just want to do a little mouth. All I'm going to do is take a red paint pen, and when you're using paint pens, you want to push down and make sure it's coming out. And I'm just going to do a little mouth. Like that. There. That's it. Okay, so that one's done. So I'll just set that aside and let it dry. Oh. I do want to put a little tongue coming out. So I'm just going to take a little bit of the pink paint and just kind of do a little rounded, like that. Okay, so for this one, this is the back, this is the front. What I want to do, I'll take that stick off for right now, is I want to put a couple of eyes. And I'm going to put some eyes with one of our little sponges. A little black paint. Okay. Let's see. I think this is going to be a good size. Alright, so we have this size and this size. I think, let's do this size. Okay, so we load it on, just load some off. Okay, and then I'm just going to press and kind of move back and forth like that. Okay, again, press, move back and forth like that. Okay. Now I'm going to wait for it to dry a little bit, and then I'm just going to put some white right in the middle. And I can take my black and just draw some eyebrows like that, and some eyelashes like this. Okay, like that. Okay, a little nose. So I just kind of press down and let some of the paint come out. Okay. Then a little pink on the cheek. A little pink on the cheek. Just like that. For the mouth, we're just going to do black this time. And we're going to do kind of just a little, like almost like a half smile. So I'm just going to go like this and like that. There we go. How cute is that? So it's going to look a lot more realistic once we get a little bit of white in the eye. But I've got to let it dry a little bit. This just kind of adds a little bit of character to them. Just makes it a little fun. Okay, on this one, I'm going to use my paint pen. Let's see. This is the front. So I'm just going to do like a little half circle and a little half circle. And then just some eyelashes on the top. Just like that. Okay, and then no nose on this one. And just a smile with the little pieces on it. And none of these have to be perfect. You can get stencils and things if you want to do them perfect, but I kind of like them to not be perfect. If anything goes wrong with it, so this one is kind of dripping down a little, and sometimes that'll happen with the paint pens. Just put a little white, and I'll just take a brush and just kind of paint over that. And I may have to come back a couple times, but sometimes if they drip like that, I'll just come back and cover over it. But see how cute that is? Okay, so I'm going to hang these back up and let them dry. So you can also use a Sharpie. So sometimes I'll use a Sharpie. Sometimes I find it might be a little bit easier to do it with a Sharpie. So, like this. And then draw in the center here. With some eyelashes. Okay. Okay, with a little mouth here. That. Isn't that cute? Okay, let's put a little eyebrows up here. She's from the 80s. It's a little thinner. And then something on the cheeks. There. And there. There we go. Oh, that's so cute. Okay, so the next set, we're just going to put some glitter on. Make a few more because I have a different idea in mind. The only thing I'm going to do different about these is I'm going to put glitter on it before I put any of the decorations on. So I will get these ready and then just show you how to do the glitter. Alright, so I've gotten them all sanded. You can see they have cute little edges on them. So now I'm going to paint them white and get some glitter on them. So I'm going to do white with Mod Podge. So that helps seal it. Make sure that you've dusted them all off so they don't have little particles on them. And just remember that the finer the sandpaper, the smoother it's going to make it and the more realistic. So I use about 120, then slightly with 220, just getting the edges round, and then I go on with about a 400. Also remember, if you are going to be using the paint pens, to be careful because they can drip. So make sure you're not doing any kind of pounding or moving it around while it's drying. So I like to get them on their sticks. This makes it a little easier to paint and then dry. I do reuse my sticks until I can't use them anymore. Unless I'm going to use them in a wreath, and then I will use the sticks to actually put them in the wreath. So we're just going to take them and paint them. And I'll go through one with you, and then I will do the rest off camera. So I just get a good coat of paint on there. All sides, including the bottom. Okay. All right, now get out one of our little paper plates, and we're going to get some glitter on it. Okay. All right. I'll start on the bottom here. I find it a lot easier to do this if it's on a stick. It's a lot easier to turn it. Okay, so once it's on there, I'm going to tap it off. Spot. I'm not going to put it on the top because we're going to be putting some more of the puffy paint on. So there's no sense in wasting this since I'm going to put puffy paint on. Okay, so I'm going to do the rest, and when they dry, I'll come back and we'll start the next step. Okay, so all those are dry. We're going to put the little string in those for hanging. And these, the ones we did that have the glitter, these are also dry and they've been sealed. So we're going to decorate these. So I want to do these more in colors like the pink, the blue, green, and purple. So that's what I want to do on these. Okay, so we're just going to take these, and very similar to what we did with these, we are going to do the puffy paint on top and get some of the drippings. Okay, so kind of start in the middle like this and go outward. Tap it to settle. I like the natural drippings. Okay, and then I just put some where I want there to be more. You don't have to put a lot. There. Like that. Might put just a tiny bit at the top here. I want there to be a little bit in the front like it's hair. Okay, so we've got that one. And before it dries, I want to get some little sprinkled glitters on it. I really kind of want to stick with this kind of glitter. Sprinkles, I should say. So now I'm just going to take one of my paper plates. Okay. And I'm going to start getting some glitter on here. I keep saying glitter. I'm going to get some sprinkles on here. Okay. Now where I got these from will be in the description. I want a pretty good amount on this. So I'm really going to coat it pretty well. Okay. There we go. So it should stick right to the puffy paint. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna let this dry, and I want this to dry completely. Okay, so I'm just gonna do the same thing to each one of these, just with different colors. Okay. If it's going in one area too much, you can kind of lean it over and tap it with your hand to get it to start going another direction. So just keep that in mind when you're doing these. You can kind of change the direction. You just need to change the direction that you're kind of hitting it in. So if you're going straight up and down, it's going to go straight up and down. If you lean it over, you want it to go a certain way, then you're just going to tap it like this to get it to start to go that way. Okay, and then we'll... The more paint you put on one side, the more it's going to go in that direction. So you want to keep that in mind when you're putting this on. So if you just want a little bit in one area, you would not put as much paint in that area. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go through and do all these, and then I'm going to let them dry, and we might put a few little cute things on the top of these. So adorable. So we have ones with faces, and then ones without faces, and I want to add a little bit to these to make them a little different. So I'll probably leave a couple just like they are, and then we have our faces one. And then I want to take a couple and add some little cute things to it. So one thing we can do is make some little tiny swirl candies to put on the hanger that we're going to be using. And another thing we can do is put some little styrofoam glitter balls on there like it is a cherry on top. So we could do a little cherry on top like this. So we're going to take out our fishing line. This is what I like to do my ornaments with. And we're going to have to put a hole through this and then put our fishing line through. Now the fishing line should go right through pretty easily. Just like that. All right, and then what I'll do is I'm going to take and fold it over like this, and then I'm going to fold it over again so that I have a little point. And on my marshmallow, I'm going to take my awl, and I'm going to poke that in the middle and kind of move it around a little. And what that's going to do is that's going to give it some space, and this folded over point we're going to push down into that hole, and that's how we're going to hang it. And all we're going to do is push it down into that hole. I like to push it down as far as I can get it. It usually will go down pretty far, and then we will take our little piece here and we're going to glue it right here in the center so that it'll be like a little cherry on top. So while we're waiting on this to work, I'm going to explain what I did with this. Okay, so these are long foam sheets. I get these from Amazon. I like them because they're extra long, and so I just take something flat or a ruler. I like to measure out 1 inch, and then I just cut it. So you can cut it with scissors, or you can cut it with a rotary cutter. I do have a separate video on just making these, so I won't go through that whole process, but I wanted you to just be aware of how I did it, kind of a rundown of about how I did it. And what I like to do is fold it over like this so that it meets in the middle. So that way you're going to have a nice side that has the glitter on it, and that'll be the side that you see the most. Okay. I do this all the way down. I like to make the crease just because it makes it easier for me when I'm putting the glue to see where I need to go. Now you can get these as adhesive sheets, and then you would just cut it and do the adhesive. The only problem is it's very hard to find adhesive sheets in this length. Another thing you can do is get some double-sided tape. You can actually get double-sided tape at the Dollar Tree. So instead of using hot glue, you would just use the double-sided tape, right? So you would just go down like this. The good thing about doing it this way is that you're not going to have any little pieces where the hot glue kind of comes out. That's nice. That does make it a little bit better, a little bit cleaner. Okay. So now all you do is just pull the backing off of the double-sided tape here. And then start putting it together in the middle. It does work really well. If you have any spots that don't, you can always put just a little tad of hot glue in there, but it does work really well. I like to put that tape pretty close to the edge so I can get it sealed together pretty nicely. Okay. Now, if you're doing smaller projects, you can get this in smaller sheets that are already adhesive. Generally, when I make these, I'm making them pretty long. Now, this one won't be a long or big one, but I wanted to show you these sheets because they are a lot more economical to get this longer sheet. Okay, so let's do the pink one. There we go. All right, so once I have them together, I'm going to start putting them together. Okay, so my glue, first let's get this settled here. So I'm just going to put a nice glob of glue there and get our cherry down. That is so cute. We might do a cherry on these as well. That's so cute. Okay. Now, I want to make sure I'm gluing the side with the rough edges together. I want to bring this down a little bit, maybe like, what is that, like 1/4 inch? About 1/2 inch, okay? I'm just going to put a little glue in here. Press that down. You can go ahead and glue your two pieces together. Sometimes I find this a little bit easier when I'm going through and doing this, just because these two pieces are already together. And you want to use a smaller tip on your glue gun so that the glue doesn't come out and make it look terrible, because it's so cute. I don't want to get that glue everywhere. Most glue guns do have where you can change out the tips, so make sure you're looking at that to see. I know for sure Surebonder does. Okay. everybody does these differently. They all come out the same in the end, so any way you would like. So there's a couple different ways. You can fold this over and go this way, like this. Or you can fold it over like this and go this way. So this way it has like the blue starting. This way it has kind of them starting at the same time. I've shown the other way, so let's do this way. So I'll just start off with the point, get that curled in. As you go, you're going to need to hold it and let that glue set up before you go on to the next little piece. So I like to put my glue down the middle and try not to let it sneak out the top. I like to lay it like this once I get it going, like on the side, and that way I could kind of see where I'm going. Okay. And I can make sure the glue is not getting out, like that. A couple places where that adhesive isn't holding. Okay. So one thing you can do when you're doing these, if you don't want to hold them like this, you can use a clamp, or you can also use a straight pin. Just put a straight pin through it and let the straight pin hold it for you. That works really well. Okay, so I'm going to trim this off here because I don't want something that's too big for these. Okay, see how cute that is? See how nice and clean that looks? Okay, so once we have our little piece made, I want to get it on some string so that I can put it up here. To get something all the way through this and to get your string all the way through it is very difficult. So what you can do is something very similar to the way that we put our wire on to hang it. So we're going to take it, we're going to double it up. We're going to take our awl and we're going to make a hole in. We're going to take our glue, put our glue in that hole. Then I'm going to put this in. Get it in as far as it'll go. Once it gets to where it won't go anymore, I'll trim off these extra pieces. Okay, so that's going to be the hanger part. Okay, just like that. And then we're going to have a piece that goes from here to here. Let's do this one. All right. So on this one, I don't really want to double it up, but I want to double up the end that's going to go into both the swirl candy and that. So I make a little hole with my awl. Get down about as far as you can go. Then put your glue in that hole. See, I just folded it over once. Okay, and then I'm going to put it in there just like we did the other one. It's just a single one this time. Get as much in as you can. I'll put just a little bit more glue there just to keep it in place. Okay, then I'll trim that part off. Alright, so this is going to be like this. So now I'm going to put a hole in this part. There. And I'm going to put some glue in that spot. I like to use this tip because I can push it right down in the holes. Makes it a little bit sturdier. And then same thing, I'm going to push that down in there as far as I can get it until it won't go anymore. There. And then I'll trim that off. I'll put another little tiny dollop of glue there. And then we have this cute little piece. Oh my gosh, how cute is that? Okay. So if you don't want to have it up this high, you can of course make this lower. You can put a bead in between them. Let's do that with the next one. So we still have, oh look at that. That whole double-sided tape opened up. So we're going to run a line of glue. What a pain. There we go. Okay, so this time we're going to have the pink in the middle. So I'm going to put a little glue here, a little glue here. Want to use low temperature glue, otherwise you are definitely going to burn yourself. Okay, so make sure you're using low temperature glue. Okay, hold it there. All right, so these are pins that I was talking about. So you can get these little, hold on, thumbtack pins is what they're called. So if I need to walk off and go do something, I'll stick this pin in there. And that's going to hold it in place while the glue sets. You can actually leave those in there if you get ones. Now the ones that I get have a little point on them because I use them on my ribbon. But if you use the flat ones, then you can actually leave it in there. You don't have to do that, but you can. If I see any glue, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. Okay. Right down the middle. Okay. It's easier to get any little glue pieces you see off immediately. Okay. If the back has glue on it, one of the best things you can do is just add a little Mod Podge and a little glitter, and that fixes it right up. I will show you what that looks like. So let's stick a little pin in here. Right there. So you can put glitter on the back like this. You just put Mod Podge and glitter, and then you can't tell that there's glue or anything else on it. Okay. Alrighty. So let's trim this one off. Okay. And we'll get this last little piece on here. See, and I like doing this because I can get several pieces out of one. Now, if I'm doing a big one, I will just use the whole thing. But if I'm trying to make small ones, then I can do, you can see I can do multiples. I don't have to keep putting it together. All right, now we're going to do the same thing we did before. Okay. I will tell you that I have tried getting something all the way through on multiple occasions. It is very difficult to do that. So I just found that it's so much better if you just attach it to both sides. All right, so this time let's do a little foam bead on one end. Okay. So what we'll do is we're going to take our awl here. Let's poke a hole in here. So this will be the bottom. Okay, I get it down as far as I can get it. Now I can get the all the way through here, but then to get something inside of that is very difficult. I find this works really well. Okay, so I'll put glue in that hole. Okay. Put our little doubled up piece in there. Get it as far down as we can go. That's it. And I'll just trim this little piece off. Okay. So cute. All right. I want to put the bead. Oh, okay, let's do this. Let's put a small bead on the bottom. The fishing wire will go right through these. That's one of the reasons why I like to use these. So I'm going to put one there. Put a little dot of glue there. Keep that in place. Oh my gosh, that's so cute. And then we'll do one at the top. Okay, so let's get a piece of this. All right. So we'll get our little hanger ready. Get our awl. Again, as far down as I can get it. Just so I can put this in and secure it. Sometimes I'll do it twice just to make sure I have a good place to put it in. And then glue. Okay. Then we put our... Oh wait, let's put our little ball on first. Okay. And then the end in. There we go. Okay. Trim that off. I'm going to put a little glue here, and we will push our little foam ball down. Oh my gosh, how cute is that? That's so cute. Okay, then we're going to take, let's do a pink one. And we're going to put our awl in this. This is one of the handiest things you can get for your craft room. One of these little awls. And it's AUW awl. You could also use an ice pick, but these are a little better just because they're smaller. And so it makes a small hole. Okay. There we go. All right. Oh, that is so cute. Look at that. Oh my gosh, that is too cute. I love that. That is adorable. Okay. Yep, love it. So we'll let our little glue dry. You can also take little pom-poms and put those on. There are just so many different things you can do that are just so cute. So what I generally do is open it like this, put a little bit of glue there, and then kind of glue it around my string like this. There. That works best for me. I'm sure different people do it different ways, but that seems to work really well for me. Like that. A little glue. Put it on. And then glue it over. See how cute that is? should still be able to move them, even though they are glued on. Okay, about like that. Alrighty. Yeah, I think that looks good. Now you can glue them on both pieces so that you just have this. If you wanted to do that, you would just do the exact same thing, right? So push open a space, put a little glue. Put it right in there. Okay. Now we have one little piece. Okay, so now we can get our, let's do this like the peachy color. Okay. This will get glue on it. You can just clean it off with some alcohol, or fingernail polish remover also works. Okay, there we go. So push it down in there. Trim off that one little piece. There we go. Oh my gosh, that's so cute. You can also do wooden beads. That's super cute. You can do just some of these beads. Let's just do a couple of these beads. Not like a cherry on top, but just kind of beads. If you want to keep them separated, just put a little dot of glue in between. That should keep them separated. That. Okay. Let's see. Let's do about that much. Okay, and then I'm going to put this other side through as well. You don't have to, but I'm just going to go ahead and do that. If you hit a stubborn spot, just move to another spot. Sometimes there are little hard pieces in here. You just have to move to another spot, and that usually does it. Just like that. Of course, you could have as many as you wanted on here. I think we'll just do a couple. Just to kind of give you some ideas of different things you can do with it. Look at that, how cute. Alright, so let's do one of the face ones. I just want to put a little cherry on top of this one. That you could put different little candies on it. There's just so many things that you can do with these. And we've done small ones, mediums, and you can also do large ones. So you can get the cylinder shape in a much larger version. And these are super cute for like a table. Oh, let's wait on that. Okay, let's get our little cherry. We'll put a bigger cherry. Okay. Okay. If I have a bigger one, sometimes I'll try to just put both little wire through. There we go. I don't do that often just because it will kind of tend to pop a hole in the bottom. But since I'm going to glue this down to the top of this, it's not going to matter. Okay. There, and push that down. Oh my gosh, that's so cute. That is so cute. Of course, if you don't want to put anything on it, you would just put the hanger on. Any number of different combinations of things with these. So let's just kind of look at kind of the varieties we have. The cherry on top with the face. Then we have little beads with just some glitter and sprinkles. We have ones with the little swirl candy with some beads as well. Okay, and then we have our little pom-poms. We have just the swirl candy on a longer piece. And another cherry on top. So this kind of gives you an idea of different things you can do with these. So no matter what size you decide you want to do, they're actually pretty easy to do. If you get one like this that's already in a size that you like, you're really not going to have to do anything except kind of round out those edges. So just remember that. But let me know what you think, and let me know if you make some of these, okay? Make sure to subscribe and to hit that bell icon so you know when we're putting up new videos and when we're gonna go live. Thank y'all for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye, y'all.